My name is Teresa Rich, and this is my midterm for Introduction to Case Management. A movie that I've seen that depicts a family with problems would have to be Lifted. In this movie, the family consists of a mother who is a recovering addict, a father who is in the military. He's currently on inactive duty, but later in the movie gets called to active duty and gets called for deployment, and a son who is at the age of 10. While the father is home, the family would be considered a level 4 family. They have stable housing, both parents have jobs. The child is in a safe environment in school, well disciplined, and all structural boundaries are relatively clear. One day the father gets a call and he has to break it to his family that he had just got called to active duty. The family was afraid that the mother would fall back into active addiction and that she would lose everything that she had and not be able to take care of the child. She promised him that she wouldn't do it, that she would seek help if she needed it. She made it a couple of weeks before she went back to active addiction. The father called regularly, talked to her, talked to the mother, to see how they was doing. And a couple of months go by, bills start adding up, the house gets put up for foreclosure, and the mother is currently strung out on drugs. She loses her job. She goes trying to find a job, and nothing seems to be falling in her favor. So they lose the house. She ends up having to move in with the child's grandfather. The child's grandfather didn't necessarily like him due to the music that he chose to listen to. So the child sought attention from the church pastor while his mom stayed high all day with the neighbor, and it got to a point to where the child's grandfather was beating him, and the mother couldn't do nothing about it because she was high all the time. The level of need that the family became when the father got deployed would be a level 1, with them losing their house, her getting strung out, not being able to take care of the child, and it also led to the child being neglected. Resources that I would put into play if I was the case manager that got assigned to the family would be observation of family interactions with all family members associated with the mother and the child. Placement for the child would be a definite yes until the mother was able to provide clean drug screens as well as stable environment, a stable housing, a job, just make a safe place for the child to be. If there was nowhere for the child to be placed, then the child would be placed with the state. I would suggest counseling for the mother and child. For the mother, I would recommend substance abuse treatment. That would be a must that had to be completed before she got the child back in her care. Anger management, to learn how to deal with the different feelings that she is experiencing due to her husband being deployed. Any built up anger from where she has let herself go again, or from her past that has made her relapse. Another thing that I would say would be social support groups, such as groups with other military spouses, to talk to others to see how they deal with what they are going through, to get a better insight on it, or maybe some positive tips to help her manage and maintain while he is away. People also learn best in a social setting. I would also say solution-focused brief therapy would also be a good approach for the mother to bring underlying problems all to the surface. What's in plain sight that we see right offhand, and what she is trying to hide or cover up, sweep under the rug, so that way she doesn't have to deal with it. Another one that I would say is narrative therapy. would help in a sense of recreating the scenario and being able to decipher how she is living her life and how that is not right, and make conversation back and forth with her and her case manager to recreate how she wants to live and what would better suit her and her child. For the child, I would say regular office visits to speak with the case manager about how things are going in his life, how things are going in the household that he was placed, and just counseling as far as having somebody to talk to.